Am I wearing pants right now? Who knows? You may never know. The mysteries of life. The other mystery of life is we're tired of Circle of Healing support ultimates. People have said that all the time. I mean, I say that. I don't think it's one of the points I actively bring up, but I think it's a huge detriment to this game that out of all of our supports, Mantis' Circle of Healing, Luna's Circle of Healing, Invis' Circle of Healing, Cloak and Dagger is a healing puddle. It's not really a circle of healing, it's a strip. It's like a runway of healing, but still, it just heals a lot, makes you immortal as long as you're inside of it. And it's virtually immortal, you're not actually immortal, and I get that, but it's kind of boring, right? It's kind of boring. And then, well, the Jeff ult and the Rocket ult don't quite do that, so they made them do that. They gave Jeff his healing puddle, which I know it's not as good as a normal support ult, but it's decent enough for the time that he's not on your team. As long as your Jeff doesn't die, like I always do, in trying to get his eats and gets value more than one support in value, then it's enough to keep your team up, especially if your other support can live. And then Rocket got the overshields to help him with that. The question I'm posing, and this is a question, it's a discussion that I am trying to have. Should we change support ultimates? Is it worth reworking just those characters' ultimates? Because, like, pretty cool idea if we're going to do that. Invisible Woman, lower the healing of her ultimate. For starters, just lower the healing. But make the barrier not only everyone inside is invisible, if you're inside of it, and it's like the enemy teams, if you're inside of it, your entire team behind you is invisible. So the invisibility goes both ways instead of just one, and then it works as a barrier, so you can't just shoot into it endlessly. And it would block damage as well as heal, and then like you could really tank the healing in that department if you wanted to, and worst case scenario, your team backs up, because if they can't shoot into or out of it, then that's not that bad. That's not like you just back up out of it and you play normally, and now there's 2 layers of shields that they have to go through to get to you. It gives you that much space. I think that's a pretty cool idea if we want to change the ultimates to not be just Circle of Healing. But then you get to the other ones and you're like, well, how do you change that, right? Mantis, I guess you could give them damage boost, other stuff from her kit, but it's just Circle of Healing, you know? Stop it. My Amazon robot thought I was talking to it. Whatever. And then Luna, how do you even change Luna? I guess you could give a more emphasis on which one do you choose to do, but that's based off the game. Like, it's not, should I choose to use the damage boost? You give them more options to use the damage boost, I guess. There's not really a good answer to it without just giving them an entirely new ultimate ability, right? And I think that is a bummer, because I would love to see these abilities changed or modified in some way that adds to the game, like with the Invisible Woman one. If you don't like the idea of a double-layered shield, well, then you could always do with that, the new tank, in Overwatch. She has a shield, and you can destroy sections of it. You could do that for her ultimate. You could do a lot of cool things with designs like that. And I don't know, I think it'd be cool to see these abilities do something other than I place it down, we're immortal inside of it, and the counterplay is how do I kill the immortal person so that way the entire ult goes down. Because that's pretty much the counterplay. When Luna ults, Luna's might be the best, because you can't CC Luna while she's in hers, but the other ones are just better conceptually. Gambit's a good start. White Fox is actually a really good start. It does make, if you play inside of her, it makes her immortal, but because she's CC immune, and every time she gives you the buff, she loses 100 health, you do have to play around her. Protect her so that she can do damage. Like, you'll dive with her, she'll go in with her ultimate, and you have to go with her and play around her, not only to get the healing, but to get the burst healing, and to keep her alive. Because if I'm playing Penny, right, and I play Penny a lot, so if I'm playing Penny, and they play White Fox, and they ult, right-click simulator for me, I just right-click the White Fox over and over until White Fox is dead. And it's really not that hard to do, honestly. So we are making really good advancements in that way of making sure that the ultimates are not just big circle of healing, right? And Ultron, even Ultron was a really good step towards that, where it does so much burst healing. And then you also have to make sure that, okay, my team needs healed. How do I put pressure? My team needs healed. How do I put pressure? The only problem is it's just not as good for supporting. And what this game relies on is huge amounts of healing as well as huge amounts of damage. I've said it once, I'll say it again. We need to reduce all the healing and all the damage. People say, what would that even do? It reduces time to kill. And if the DPS takes more than half a second to kill you, then that means your support can look away and do other things. And they want to give these supports varying kits so that you don't just look down main and shoot your heals down main. But with the current state of the game, you kinda have to. Unless they're playing dive, but if they're playing poke, or hell, even brawl sometimes, you just gotta have to look at your tanks and keep your tanks up, immediately look at them, put them up. Like, you're constantly just healing. At least, I know it's probably not that way above my rank, right? But I hit GM2 last season. I stayed in GM2 for a while. And it's like, it's still played similar to that. There's more expression to whatever you want, but that's pretty much how it's played. And the problem with that is more than 90% of your player base is below GM. From hitting GM1 and hitting GM2, the percentages that it shows you there, over 90% of that is below. So over 90% of your player base is mainly looking at the tanks, because if you don't look at the tanks will explode, or the DPS will explode if you don't just spam healing. And so if you lower the time to kill, it means even at those ranks, you don't have to spam healing. If you do that, well, you have to balance some abilities. Yes, because you'll have to change things around the board. But I think that's something that needs to be done. And if you do that, it gives you the opportunity to make these ults more interesting. Even if it's like, oh, we added damage boost to Luna, and maybe when you're in damage boost form, you get significantly less than her healing, but you get overshields every second to incentivize you to do damage boost. And that won't save your team. The damage boost won't save your team, nor will it make them immortal. But that's when you swap back to healing, and you heal them all up, and then you can swap back to the damage boost. And then rockets go crazy with the damage boost, because then it forces them, because, they haven't changed Punisher ult in so long. Punisher ult, if he uses it, you have to hide. You either mag ult it, you kill it instantly, or you hide. You go hide, because you will die. You will die to a Punisher ult, especially if he's bubbled, or if he's damage boosted by Mantis, or if he's healed at all, or if there's a tank with a shield in front of him, you will die. So why can't we do that for Rocket ult? Make it so that Rocket ult is you kill it instantly, or you go hide. And it's a tool to make space, instead of I press this button and my entire team lives for this amount of time button. These need to be more interesting than what they are. And I think that it's possible to do, but not in the current state of the game. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think it should be possible to do? If you think it should be possible to do, and they should do it, instead of just having them be immortal rings, or like circles of healing. That's what everyone says. Well, it's a circle where you're immortal, and it's stupid. And if you think that it should, how would you do it? Because I think my Invis idea is kind of banger. Making it a shield instead of making a shield and double-sided invis, but then really tanking the healing, so that way it's a utility ultimate and not just a button where you're immortal, and it does block a lot of damage, especially if your tanks are playing at the front of it and blocking the enemy from getting in. The DPS can't really do anything, and then once they walk in, they lose all support. Like, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool idea, because with that idea, the tanks couldn't walk into it, because they'd lose all the healing. The supports would have to walk into it as well, and so there is still counterplay with they ult, so my team ults, because if my team is ulting, then you can walk into it safely. Sorry, I don't know why that took me so long to say. But yeah, what do you guys think? How would you do it if you agree with me? And if you disagree with me, tell me why. because I've had people in the past when I go, hey, do you think we should do this? And I know these videos don't reach a lot of people, but I don't care. It's just for me. But if you're watching it and you comment, blah, 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 they just said no. And I was like, yeah, so why? Because I genuinely want to know. Like, I don't see a lot of online Discord about on this outside of me and my friends. I go to the Discord server every now and then, but I don't want to talk to these guys. I don't know, it just feels so impersonal and like they're actual random people. Like, I could be talking to Match Chat about this. I'd feel more of a connection to those people. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. Do the thing. Do the do. Not sponsored, not sponsored. Wet Willy.